Hey, good evening, everyone. Gio here, and welcome to this very odd video. This video is basically a companion piece or an expansion to the previous video, where I attempt to beat, where I attempt to find the answer, where I attempt to figure out if you can beat Kurohyou like a dragon Black Panther. No, Kurohyou Ryuga Gotoku Shinsho without styles. And yeah, you can do it. Okay, so this video is basically the raw footage, so I can justify the run, even though this attempt of fighting the bosses is completely different from the one showcased in the video, because I deleted them due to my laptop's low end durability. That's why I usually delete my raw footages to save on space. I'm basically obligated to do that because my laptop. Actually, no, let me word that a bit better. I'm basically obligated to do it to save up on storage space, and I can't use or can't compile all of it into one single video file because it took, if I wasn't wrong, like 8 to 10 hours, and it was basically just a little too long, and that my Premiere couldn't render it. And even if I had to actually, my Premiere couldn't render that 8 to 10 hour video, and the time to upload it took like it took around 3 days. Yeah, it took around 3 days to upload the video, like that length. Sorry about that. That was my annoying little brothers. I got 2 of them. Okay, so returning to the topic at hand. So this video is basically the justification of my run of the video where I beat Kurohyou like a dragon without using any styles. So how I'm gonna approach that is I can't use the triangle or square button as they are style sensitive, where your kicks and punches are all have different animations depending on the style you're using. So I can't use those. And the only thing I can use is evasion strikes, like I'm doing here, like the X left right. Oh, I got very there. The X left or right button where I swing back and attack. That isn't style sensitive, and that isn't style sensitive, so it's available to be used. And the other thing of not being able to do it of this no style challenge run is that I can't use heat actions, at least the blue and red heat actions, because those are also style sensitive as they change depending on, oh, except this one, the yellow heat action. Sorry for interrupting myself. The yellow interaction can be used because that sensitivity is in the environment and isn't tied to style, so I can't use that. So I can use that, the only heat action I can use, and it's kind of annoying. And the other thing I can use is death blows, but I'm gonna elaborate on that a little further into the video because I got something to talk about Yuki here that I didn't have to talk in TOMOKI and HYUGA's fight. Okay, so I failed this fight like 2 times. One happened in the first one happened 2 minutes into the fight, and I accidentally run into him with a running punch. The second one, I accidentally pressed the square button 1.5 minutes into the fight and had to restart from there. This fight you're seeing is basically the successful run, and oh yeah, Iki is like really hard for no fucking reason, because he is very hard to strategize against with my restrictions here of not being able to do basic combos, always needing to do yes, that's way attacks, and the death blows being my only form of attack, except for the yellow heat action. It's really hard since he's very parry heavy. He he basically clips you every time you try to attack, and since my options are like very heavy and very slow moving, he always gets the drops on me. And he also can't be cheesed like any of the other bosses with death blows. I'm gonna explain that in the upcoming boss, because that's basically all the commentary I have for Yuki. He's like very annoying. He's grab heavy, he's parry heavy. Like yeah, hey, he was kneeling and I still get parried, which is like really fucking. Oh, here, he's gonna parry again. Okay, look, yeah, that's very fucking unfair. And I just kind of like don't like this boss, but his theme is like really fucking good, and that's basically the only thing I like about this boss, except for the story implication, which I've made a video on that I'm gonna link at the end screen. Yes, shameless self-promotion there, which I'm gonna talk about very slightly here. So this guy we're fighting here is actually our teacher, our geography teacher, where he basically teaches us about, if I remember correctly, Tatsuya basically hates him because he constantly teaches about nothing but Ohio. And at the end of the plot line here, we basically learn that Ohio is actually very important, because the brain rot we feel about learning about Ohio will actually increases our defensive capabilities from receiving damages from brunt force, and we basically be grateful about that. And yeah, that's okay. Next part. So this is what I'm talking about, the death blow part, the death blow loop, where if you knock down the boss and charge up your death blows, you can basically loop them into oblivion, like see here, and like boom, you're basically like, okay, this isn't a very good example about it, but that's basically it. You knock down the boss and then you charge up your attack, you bait them, and they just fall down again. This is great to build up heat actions to. No, I failed there, but that's okay. This is a great way to build up heat actions, and sorry about the stuff there. I'm very sick right now. So you knock them down, you charge up another death blow. They fell down to the ground again, where you can just grab and do another heat action to them. It's very cheesy, very effective. Isn't style sensitive, so it's a-okay in this run. Okay, time to talk about the plot of this guy. He's the father of someone we beat up in high school, and that someone is actually the Actually, no, we didn't just beat him up, we cracked out his neck and tore his dick out, if I remember correctly. So this father here is trying to slime us back because we slimed his son. And basically, at the end of the fight, we figure out that no, we didn't slime his son, we actually cracked him, giving him a better opportunity in life, being the progenitor of Ohio. in the Black Panther universe, which is gonna be like, if I'm not wrong, this is the leak script and plot to Black Dragon Black Panther 3. I actually had a talk with Yokoyama, right? Yeah, it was Yokoyama. I had a dream with Yokoyama, and he said like, this plot point of Lucky Dragon Ohio, Lucky Dragon Black Panther new chapter is actually gonna be the main premise of Lucky Dragon Black Panther 3. If I'm not wrong, the subtitle would be New Generation, like many some other animes doing so with the new generation and stuff like that. And it's actually very cool, a very demure, and a very creative that and also very bold that they would take this approach to the elusive third part of this famous duology from the PlayStation Portable, which is also a shame. These games are like very fun, and they're also just okay. Repeat that. That they're my ball fell. That they're basically gridlocked to the PSV and hasn't been localized. Well, they have been localized, but they've only been localized by fans. Sorry, that was my little brother again. Okay, so this next boss is basically just the team version of Minami. Not even Majima, it's Minami. Okay, so first off the bat, I failed this fight one time because I did this for some fucking reason, and he's also I'm trying to think of it. Gameplay wise, he's basically the first cartoon villain where we're having the pleasantry of fighting. He's very cartoonish. He's very crazy. He's very crazy. Something like that. He's basically just an archetype where our main employer basically calls this fight an actual dogfight because our nickname here is the Mad Dragon of Kamurocho, or what's the other part? Kamuro no Ryu or something about that. And this bootleg Minami is called the Mad Dog of something Okinawa, which is actually really fucking surprising because in what's it called? This game takes place near Yakuza 4 and 3, where if we were to take the greater timeline into face value, Kiryu could basically encounter this guy back in Okinawa because they're in a similar time window, which is really surprising that we've got like 4 or 5 Mad Dogs in the series, which is gonna list it above my head, which is Majima, Minami, this guy, the prison inmate from Yakuza 5, and Nishitani. Oh, 6 with Nishitani the third. Yeah, Nishitani the third. So there's like a 6 Mad Dog archetype here, which is not enough, I think. Sorry for constantly inhaling. I'm really fucking sick right now, and I do not have any power to just sit down and make another video, so I just make this fucking slop into the wild. Okay, here I'm basically showcasing how Deathloop Loop works. You just do this over and over and over again, and the boss, and 9 out of 11. Oh wow, that's surprising. Actually, yeah, really, 9 out of 11 bosses fell for these every single time. Oh, sorry about that. The 2 exceptions to who can't be Deathloop Loops are Yuki Masumi and the second to last boss. The final boss is actually really easy to Deathloop Loops with how the arena is arranged. Okay, we're gonna save that for later. This is the second HYUGA fight. I'm gonna claim this right now, which isn't a very hot take. It's like very fucking lukewarm. This is probably the second hardest boss fight in the game, and you fight him like in chapter 6, if I'm not. Yeah, you fight him in chapter 6, and he's like really fucking hard. Other than like being generally very aggressive, he's also very heavy. But unlike Yuki Masumi, he hits like a truck. He can basically like drain you out of your health. He's he's generally just a really bad time, which is why he's largely considered as one of the hardest bosses in the game. But despite that, he isn't immune to death loops, which I heavily use in this fight. And he goes down decently easily. Fairly easily. I'm gonna fix that about it. He goes down fairly easily, for grammatically correctly. Using using this death loops. He's generally very easy to bait them. Though sometimes he does that, he's fast enough to actually dodge it, which is a minor setback. And just that, it's a minor setback. You can actually just do it again, over and over and over and over again. Though this heat action part is actually very I've been saying actually a lot lately. I'm gonna try to stop saying that. As you can see, I got heat action once. I actually got heat actions. Oh, actually, I said actually again. Fuck it hell. I got hit by heat actions 3 times in this encounter. Luckily, I only needed 1 round of this. God damn it! I beat this boss fight in 1 go, despite being hit 3 times with his heat actions. And that's basically. Oh, actually, no. Sorry. Okay, so the reason why HYUGA's second rematch boss fight being significantly harder than its first one is that he's angry because we if I'm not wrong, we basically HYUGA was kidnapped and he was forced to listen to the I was raised in a barn song, the song that goes, I like to cuss like I was raised in a barn, and blah 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 blah. So they basically tortured this poor fella with that song for like 30 minutes, and he's this strong now because of that song, giving him the power boost he needed to try to keep up with the main character. And it shows. Here you can see the red blood overlay. I'm struggling to talk here. That's basically it. If you want my most wonderful commentary, skip to this spot for the other boss fight. That's basically. Okay, so now we're gonna fight CHOU. He's basically nothing. Now he's supposed to be the Tatsuya's equal or rival or the foil, or Actually, yeah, he's supposed to be his equal because their circumstances are very similar, but I don't really care about that for now in this video, as I'm just gonna dig around. He's very easy compared to the previous fight with the HYUGA one. Very easy to counter, very easy to not counter. Counter isn't allowed because countering or parrying is also style dependent, which is I don't know what to say about it. It feels like it doesn't, but it actually is. The counter is different for the various levels. Actually, yeah, counter is different in the way that it's leveled, not. Yeah, it is just leveled because the level 1 Street Fighting style and the final level and the final ultimate style, the extreme man style, actually has the same parry animation, but if you go from a Street Fighting level 1, which is what I'm using because you're supposed to, and no style requirement, as I was supposed to say this at the beginning. Okay, fine. I'm gonna timestamp this again. So the rules are, for no styles, is that I can't use triangle or square because those are style dependent. I can't use the red or blue heat actions because those are also style dependent. I can't use grabs because those are style dependent. And I also can't use any other style besides Street Fighting level 1 because the other styles give you bonus effects like a 30% extra punch damage, 30% extra grab damage. All the other styles does that, so I'm stuck in the level 1 Street Fighting style as they do not give any additional buffs. I'm gonna timestamp this in the description for because I didn't explain the rules very clearly. And going back to a couple seconds before this, parrying or countering also isn't allowed because that is also very style dependent, but it's style dependent in a really odd way because, as I said before, Street Fighting level 1 and the ultimate style, the extreme man style, they share a parry animation, but if you go from Street Fighting level 1 to Street Fighting level 5 and go from boxing 1 to boxing 5, they have very different parry animation, which is why it isn't allowed. Okay, the next boss fight here, we're going up against the Ultimate Soldier. Sorry about that. We're going up against MUKURO IKUSABA. We're going up against MUKURO IKUSABA with additional steroids. She truly lost herself and got this fucking jacked. He's also like another cartoonishly villainous enemies that we're gonna fight because he's actually an actual soldier. He's an inmate that was supposed to be sentenced at death row, but somehow the big bad of the game managed to bail him out. Despite his atrocities if I wasn't wrong, he was a French soldier, an ex-French soldier, who was sentenced to death, and now he's somehow morally gray legally, and not gray area stuff and all like that. He's now just fighting a fucking teenager, which is really insane with how fast the escalation is. The previous guy was just a gang member, and now we're fighting a top tier mercenary ex-soldier who was supposed to be dead, to be killed, legally killed by the government, which is just insane. But he's also very fucking easy, as even though he is the 3rd or 5th parry heavy boss, he has the worst wake up. He has the worst wake up attack, as his range is like a very short. he gets death blow loops very easily, like that. He's very short, even though he's still in his heat form. I could easily oh, death blow him quite fucking hell. And that's really all I have to say. All the strategy I had with how restrictive this challenge run is, only being able to do evasion strikes and death blows and yellow heat actions. Those three form attacks is the only thing I have, and not much variation has been tried in that. You know, do some evasion strikes here and there initially. Oh, I paused and got heat actions again. I was oh yeah, I paused there because I was considering on restarting, but no, I just don't care enough to restart from there. And also I didn't break any rules, so yeah, I'm just gonna use this again. Okay, so back to my point. So the strategy in fighting these bosses here do not change at all. Like, you go from evasion strikes and there, knock them down, do death blow loops, the occasional yellow heat action, and that's basically it. Even with YUKI Masumi and HYUGA and the boss after this one, this Rocky Balboa wannabe, also doesn't change as much. It just changed on how much I'll be fighting it safely. Yeah, it only changed on how much I'm fighting it safely. Okay, but SHIMA is a slightly special case, as you cannot attack him on the head. If you do attack him on the head, he goes into a slight rage mode where he can just I'm just gonna show you visually. You can look at this. Yeah, he instantly go into rage mode, which is into our advantage because we can just bait a running attack and do death blows and do death blow loops like what I've shown you, where he runs into us and then we crash into them, which is also another strategy, but I don't use that very much. And yeah, that's basically it really. Other than that, oh yeah, shout out to Imontheedge of my seat. I basically stole this format from him. Basically, gameplay with like yapping from my uncharming mouth, my charmless mouth, I should say. Oh yeah, so I don't know if that's a justification. I'm not gonna try to use it as justification. I'm practicing my my English too for doing this, as English isn't my first language. It's my third one. My first and second language was, you know, my native tongue, Indonesian, and my other native tongue. Actually, I think it's the fourth one because I got two. Ethnicity tongue, I think. Because other than Indonesian being my default setting, I also have like two things I'm supposed to know, which is Batak and Banjar. I'm just gonna say it, which is Batak and Banjar, which they have their own language system, or not a system, I guess, as those are more akin to dialect. Or I think it is. It's just you know what, fuck it, I'm rambling. Okay, here's the hardest boss fight in the fucking game, which is to be expected because this guy is actually our future self. Yeah, he's actually our future self from the year 2045, if I'm correct. From the lore, he's our future self from the year 2045, going back into the first game, trying to warn us about our impending doom to the second game, which is actually a really bold writing style, as As if I'm not wrong, Yokoyama personally said to me that the Kurohyou games were planned to have 3 entries from the start, which is this one, the first game featuring Tatsuya going back to the Dragon Hitling and do into this fight where it's revealed that it's actually our future self from the third game in 2045, set in 2045, where he time traveled back into the past to warn us about the events of the second game. And after the second game is concluded, we get a teaser on the third generation from what I said in the Nobumichi fight, the taxi boss fight, the fourth boss fight in the at the 720 mark, and his son being getting cracked and slime. Yokoyama personally said that. Again, sorry for sniffling all over the place. Again, sorry for sniffling. I think that's the word. All over the place. I'm very sick. I have the flu. The dragon flu. Anyways, so this guy you're fighting is our future self from the year 2045, featured in the third game, where the son of the fourth boss fight in the 720 mark is actually the main protagonist taking up our mantle. So after the events of the second game, we turn old, and then at the third game, we took in the taxi driver guy, the Nobumichi guy, the son of him, into our tutelage, and then we train him up. But then at the end, he actually betrayed us in a worldwide tournament with Takayuki Yagami. Takayuki Yagami. He's supposed to be featured in the third Kurohyou game, even before he was featured in his own game, which is like really crazy. How Yokoyama has this bunch of unhinged ideas, which is just very bold of him. I'm not gonna spoil anything further because it's very confidential, and the fact that Yokoyama actually said to me that I cannot reveal any of this to the first place to the public, but I don't care, because Kurohyou 3 basically isn't gonna be made. It's basically scrapped. And okay, so how hard exactly is this fight? And to show just how hard it is, I'm just gonna say that I died 3 times here, or had to restart. No, not 3 times. I died. I had to restart and attempt this fight like 7 times, with the 8th being my lucky streak. You know, very fitting. 8th infinite wealth, like Dragon 8 infinite wealth, which is actually already planned. Which is actually also already planned here from the beginning, as you will be at minimum will need 8 tries to beat this final guy, because as the as foreshadowing to Infinite Wealth, and just like Infinite Wealth being turn-based, this fight is basically structured to feel like a turn-based fight, as you need to be patient, like wait for him to attack, then you go perfect guard and you attack, or else you go this far, or else you'll get punished very heavily, which is like really fucking bold foreshadowing that they've been building up the turn-based system, where the feature like Dragon games are gonna be placed in all the way back in I think this was 2014. Wait, hold on, let me check. I'm gonna grab my phone here. When was Kurohyou released? Oh yeah, 2010. Yeah, it's crazy how they've been planning the turn-based combat direction of the mainline game all the way in 2010. That's 2010. It's like 14 years. No, 14? It's 2017, right? Lucky Dragon 7 came out in 2017, right? Hold on. I paused the game here so I can. That's 2020. So that's like 10 years ago. Man, they're really Ryuga Studios is like very fucking advanced. They just plan out 10 years in advance for their turn-based combat direction from like Dragon 7 from onwards. It's actually very freaking impressive. And yeah, that's really all I have to say about this fight. You need to be a very patient. You attack in turns. If he attacks, you perfect dodge and you attack back. He also can't be Death Blow Loop because he has one of the best. Yeah, he has one of the best wake up attacks, being front roll, and that attack range is like really fucking long, which made Death Blow Loops just really inaccessible. And he's what I said, being the 9 out of 11 boss, being unable to Death Blow Loops because he is the second one, the first being Yuki, which you can't Death Blow Loop. Because of that, front roll leg wake up attack. I do not know how what it's called. Where he has like, if you try to beat him, he'll stand up, then a front roll with his leg following behind, and that wake up attack is like really fucking long, which just made Death Blow Loops just unavailable. Oh yeah, then this is where I'm finishing him off. Okay, finally to the final guy. He's actually really easy, like shockingly easy, like really very easy. I do not know how much. Actually, at least when compared to the previous boss, he is very easy. I'll take a shot how much easy I've said. So other than he's able to be death. Okay, so how easy is able to be Death Blow Loops his attacks, while he is more aggressive than the previous one that our future self and from 2045. Shinjo is very aggressive, but he also has one of the more manageable wake up attacks to be able to Death Blow Loop him to death. And his parries aren't very he's not too parry heavy, at least depending on how lucky you get, where his AI can be like very brain dead, like what I've got here. Okay, so I'm just gonna summarize what I said there. He's very easy compared to the previous boss. He's manageable to be Death Blow Loops. He hits like a truck, but the bigger arena make it easier to dodge his attacks. And fourth, even though his heat actually, sorry, I'm gonna burp here. Yeah, 2 for 1 there, 2 for 1 grossness there. Okay, so the fourth track there. So this triple package. Okay. So the fourth one of this is that his heat attacks or heat engagement attacks is like very weird. And in his first stage, it's like he just screams like "Woo!" So after he screams, he likes run towards you, and when he chases you, that's just like unescapable, flat out. You can't escape it, so you need to be very cautious, which is what I'm doing here. I'm setting up distances, like preemptively trying to beat that out, which, you know, well, it doesn't do. No, actually, it does take much damage. So it does like 1/4 of your. It does like 1/4 of your health if he manages to engage it on you and slam you to the handrails. But if he fails to do that, the damage, if I'm not wrong, is like half. If he isn't successful to drag you down to the handrails, it'll be like 1/8 of your health, if I'm not wrong. but I'm not gonna risk it. Yeah, I'm just not. Okay, here he goes. Here he goes. So I basically keep my distance here from here on out. So I'm gonna take a breather. Sorry if that grows you out. I'm very fucking sorry. So I basically put my distance away and wait for his heat aura to dissipate over time. It naturally does that. Without largely organized, you can just wait it out. And yeah, that's basically it for Shinjo. He's a pretty easy boss fight compared to our 2045 Tatsuya feature Tatsuya, 2045 feature Tatsuya, or Officer T is what it's called in the third game, if I'm not wrong. Either that or Officer U, said it's the same. It's actually Tatsuya Ukyo or Ukyo Tatsuya, so it's either that. You know what? I actually no, let me check. Oh yeah, as it works, he's called both as Officer T and Officer U, which is not that confusing to decipher in the third Kurohyou game, but that's really basically it. I've basically talked all the strategy in this Shinjo fight here. Is okay, other than eating some ramen to just be on the caution to just be on the cautious side, and yeah, that's it. You go heat, you go evasion strikes, death blow loops, yellow heat actions. If he gets his purple aura, keep distance, and then just continue wailing him on. And that's really basically it of my strategy on approaching this fight. So for the rest of it, I'm just gonna replace the music so I don't get copyright. I'll see you at the end of the screen. And yeah, that's basically it for the video. If you somehow like this slop, then give it a like. If you dislike it, that's pretty understandable, and give it a dislike. If you want to watch actual effort in my videos, go click on this playlist right over here and subscribe to the channel if you feel like it. And I'm sorry again for the slop, so good evening and
Bye.